welcome back to the D&D Family Gamers. I'm Diggin here, back on Genshin on my show. And today what's the devil don't know me because we're doing an idea recap video. Well, technically stream, but you get the point. Because this is a fun idea to talk about some ideas that we talked about in the past, and hopefully Hoyle Bars take the ideas and use them, because it would make the game awesome. Because, like, trust me, some of these ideas are amazing. So, if you enjoy, hit like on the comment, let's kick the ass and rate the bell, shall we? Let me just make sure my name is up so I can keep on track. And make sure it's up, I can keep it on my chat. And I'll try to make sure my eyes are working, which is good. When do I want to go and talk about these ideas? And maybe as I'm done talking about them, we could, maybe, well, maybe just run with, I don't know. Hard to say. Well, let's start. You know what? We'll go in order with how I ran them down in the past. I have a grand total of like 28, 30 ideas grand total. Granted, if I took my time and actually really thought about it, I could really make like at least not 100 more. But let's start with the first one. And that is increase the level cap for the weapons and the characters to level 100. And I know people got me saying, why? For one reason, I play a ton of RPG games, and the usual cap when it comes to max levels in games like those is usually level 99 or 100. So why is it only level 90 in this game? Granted, I can say the same thing they should do in Xenoblade Zero, Honkai Star Rail, and Weather Waves, because all their levels are all different. Like, Weather Waves is 90, Xenoblade is 60, and Honkai is 80. Which I will say is something, where the damn numbers in my life of playing games? But, my point. Point is, though, I think it should give a increase in the weapons because, for one thing, this is based off the 7 nations. Now remember this, folks. 7 nations. And usually it's based around the number 7. Now, when you look at your characters, like take my travel, for example, here, it shows only 6 stars, not 7. And that's something I call that very interesting when you think about it. It's like, wait a minute. Why is it only 6 when it's supposed to be 7? That's one thing I would love to see in the game, because, like, it makes my OCD, I don't know, or what do I call it? I forget the name of it. Some of that, I don't know what it's called exactly. I think it's OCD. I could be wrong. I don't know. But, enough about that. I would love to put them to level cap it up to 100, because that would make more sense. But see, now I know people say, before we aren't going to the next one, people say, oh, but that'll make it hard for us newer players to get leveled up. Now, this is the thing that, would make more sense. For one, to get to level 100, you would have to go to Spiral Abyss, and they would drop a special material that is only available on floors like 9 through 12. Okay, it would make sense being there. Because that's another thing, folks. Why should the enemies be over 100? Like, come on. That's not fairly all around. But, anyway. Happen that you get the material from there, and once you ascend the character, so let's just take, for example, my Ganyu, for example. When you use it, it would have the option to ascend the character, yada yada, but when you do it, they would instantly go to level 100. And just so you know ahead of time, you have to be level 90 before that's even available. Because we all know, if you want to level up a character, let's take Marissa here for example, over 160 books just to get her maxed. Which is dumb. But my point though, I think that would be a nice way to, make it so it's a little easier. And that also applies to weapons. So, ascend the weapon, get more power. And here we go. Number 2. Increase the AR rank. For goodness sake, I've been an AR-60 player for, oh god, I want to say about 2 years now. Maybe a little more. No, it is more. Might be getting close to 3. Not 100%. I wish there was a way it would tell you when you hit AR-60, like a little achievement you can just look up saying, hey, you hit AR-60 some time ago. But, my point that. I think they should raise it up to, let's go by 10 for now. Let's say go up to 70. But here's the thing. Now, I know people say, oh, but the rewards will be shit, it would just be more crying. That's not worth it. No, no, no. With hitting AR-60 and you go over to get to AR-70 territory, the rewards will be way better. Like, for example, let's just say at AR-65, for one, you get a 4-star selector, being a weapon, no, scratch it, a 5-star selector from the standard banner. Now this means not just the characters, but also the weapons in standard banner. Which something will help out a lot. Oh, I didn't mean that. Whoopsie. Not my one. But, as I was saying, you gotta try to pick one of the things you want, either be a character from the standard, or a weapon from standard. Now that's for being AR-65, and like, maybe give you like an extra, I don't know, 150, 200, maybe even 300 Primo Gems, something like that. But when you get to like AR-70 is when it gets juicy. And Hoyo, you can do it because you just did something like this in Honkai. So, don't tell me you can't.
It's so nice to de-stress.
And that quite literally is, when you hit AR-70, you get an item that basically gives you, okay, let me go to Caradoc, I'm showing you what I mean. Like, we talked about fragmentism in the past, which is really good, but you will be able to exchange this item for one of these characters in general. So, for example, I will buy getting Risley on my account, I can exchange that item and get Risley. And it's only one-time use. But that's just me talking about that. Now this one, I know people are gonna say they will never do it, they'll lose more money in at first. Yes, they would. A little. And that is decrease the amount of how much it takes for doing a poll. Because let's just say right now, like look, if you want to do a poll, it takes you 160 Primo Gems. Which in my opinion is dumb. Because think about this both. If you are a low spender, say for example you just buy the Welcome and Battle Pass, similar like I do. For a day, from doing the dailies and just a simple login, you get 150 Primo Gems. Which means you don't get a pull a day. And I know people say, like, you got exploration to do. I say true. Very true when you are a low AR. Or, not low AR. Wrong one. When you're, you know, have low exploration in all zones, because you have plenty of exploration. But when you're someone like me, I've 100% every zone. Granted, there's a few treasures here and there that I may have missed. But that's it. A few. Nothing major. Like, it might all end out maybe a temple if I'm lucky, if I really explore. Which, I mean, I've explored like, really well, but my point. The big point is, I think they should put them down from 160 to 150. Because that'll make more sense in the long run when you're doing polls. Like, I know people think, oh, but they'll be losing money. At first, like I mentioned before, yes, they would. But they would in turn make more money because people are like, oh, wait a minute. Since they only cost 150 Primo Gems to do a poll, that means I'd have an easier time to get the characters I want. And heck, if I get lucky and get a character early, why not get one? Go for constellations, you know? Like, that's the thing right there. I know it sounds really crazy, but I'm going by experience of me playing all the Onslaught games I played. And since we're talking about the wishes, we'll go on to number 4. The Wish Pity. Because in my opinion, the pity in this game is horrible. I'll say it right now, and this all applies to Hawkeye Star and Zenless as well. Not so much Wizard, well, kind of Wizard as well because it's still 80. But they do make it a little more reasonable, kind of. And that is for both the limit banners, aka character banners, where the standard should be decreased down to 70 pity. Because, for goodness sake, you see how long it took me to get Baressa. Way too bloody long. Which drove me up a wall. I think I was like roughly 150 pity. Which is insane. So in my opinion, put down 70. And this also applies to this thing. Granted, they have changes to the better. With the PMI time being only 1 point, which is great. But the only problem is, like, for example, if I was going for LG in the end. Oh, wait. LG for the end? Oh, my bad. Either way, let's say I went for it and I lost into something else, and I had this point and I say the band's changed, you lose the point. Which, in my opinion, dumb. Sorry about that. Man. But in my opinion, put down the 70 on this, 60 on this, 70 on this. Because in turn, people that have been saving for characters would actually be more... Why? No. The word... No. The word part means stupid. They would see a potential of going for the characters in more... Wait. I can't even do that daily. I don't know why they don't delete them. Well, anyway, as I was saying, while I was interrupted by the... Can I teleport? Thank you. And that is quite literally making it so it's easier for players to have more fun. Because, come on. 90 pity for a banner that's, you know, it can take you up to 90 pulls to get the character. I've had some high pities. I think my highest pity was like 85 to 87. My off. Hang on. Ooh, good. Okay. Well, hell, what the hell? One more down or two.
Try your luck betting on Jade?
Anyway, as I was saying while I was gagging for a second, there. Well, I went down or two. Ugh. Nasty. But, anyway, as I was saying, I think if they did that, it would help out a lot of players that are trying to get characters they want. Because, come on. Taking up to 180 polls to get one character, one guarantee is ridiculous. So making it a little bit reasonable. Oh, and also, let's backtrack for a second back to the 150 for Primo. And I know people say, oh, they won't ever do that, that'll be, you know, lose money. Well, how about this then? Make it so that the 10 poll is cheaper. Like, let's just say, for example, like similar to the Noel banner, they give you a discount. if you do 10 polls. And say, instead of costing you 10, let's say it costs you 8 or 9 polls. So it makes it a little bit easier on getting characters. Excuse me, folks. Holy mackerel. Wow, sorry about that. But in my opinion, I think that's a system that needs to be put in to make it a little bit easier for players to get characters. And also, real fast, put a kind of a pitwise path, but not for 5 stars, not for the characters, no. A pitwise path for the 4 stars on these banners. Because I had a bad history of trying to get Candace. Because, for one, I got C1 Sino Abbott, because when he first released, I'm like, oh my god. It took me over 150 polls just to get 1 copy of Candace. I'm like, what? So point looking at a penalized path for the 4 stars. So I say the first one, 8, the character you wanted. It'd be like, okay, here you go. Now is the right one. Because that would make a little bit easier so you don't have to keep on spending so many bloody polls. I know it sounds crazy, folks. I know it does. But I'm trying to give you ideas here that would actually help out the game's progression. And now, let's do the one-on-one that me and my friend Val talked about called a fragment system. And here's the thing, they could do it because they already technically have it over in Honkai Star right now, and they can't let it do. Because you get, the only difference with me and Val's idea compared to the one over in Honkai Star is, you have to have C6 5-star units. Or to my man, is ridiculous. To get a shard. Oh, I forget what they call it right here. And like, oh my god, that's insane that you have to collect. I think it's only 4 shards to get one, to make one selectable thingy. Which it could kind of apply over here, but don't make that with C6 characters that are 5 stars. Make it for the 4 stars as well to make it a little more reasonable. That's why I'm like, okay, let's do it smartly then, you know?
Time to relax.
Well, that might be just me. Ooh, she actually made that. Not bad. But that's the thing, though. Because a fragment system will be really good. But you gotta do it correctly. You can't just, you know, make it that, oh, it only applies to, like, the whales or ones that, like, you know, spend a lot of money. Because that won't be fair to other players that play the game. So, in my opinion, how you can do it over here is one of 2 ways. By doing exploration, kind of similar in that one, how you got the, whatchamacallit, these things. The elixirs. So, in my opinion, like saying, okay, we have this, and you get that as well, and you can get a character of your choice, being 4-star or 5-star, whatever. I think mostly towards 5-star personally, because it'll be really beneficial for the people that are trying to get characters that, like, you know, don't have reruns often. Like, for example, Kokomi had that rerun for Coon's Age. I think it's been over a year. What's the been over a year? Now, I can't say how long, you know, how long it's been, because I had Kokomi a long time ago. I can remember when she first released. Yeah, you can see I've had her for over 3 years. 3 years on my account. And Kokomi is such a sweetheart, by the way. But in my opinion, that would be a good thing. And oh yeah, this fragment system also applies to weapons. Because let's just say, when you're trying to get characters or weapons, it's a royal pain in the ass. Because look at this. Let's go down to a 5-star. It doesn't matter what one it is. Alright, let's take El Haven's one. Granted, we can't see it because we don't own it. But in my opinion, having a fragment thing that you can say, okay, I want this weapon. You simply click X twice, or whatever the button is to confirm on console, PC, mobile, yada yada. In my opinion, that'd be so good for the game. Like, come on. It will be amazing. And here's the other method how that you can get fragments to get a character. By doing story quests.
So much stuff.
Story quests, online quests, world quests, you name it. Like, I think for Arkham Quest, you should get, like, one fragment piece per one. Because, why not? But hopefully something like this does be put into the game, because this will really help the game out a lot. But we won't talk about more about that. I would love to do more of these, more in depth, but I'm just gonna kind of keep it brief-ish. Now, in my opinion, this is another one that needs to be put in. But that's more because of me playing Minecraft, so, you know, take a grain of salt. It's a town building mechanic. I know people say, but we got the teapot. I said, yeah, that's true. But that's only for us where we can live and our favorite characters. I'm thinking over maybe somewhere out here, could be like an island that just randomly pops up. You get, like, you know, just for fun, you get a quest. Then you go see Tubby because something's wrong with the teapot. But it's not acting right. You get a quest, you go to the island, you actually claim it as your own, because, you know, and it's in, I guess, neutral water, I guess. I don't know what the right word is. And in turn, you can make it into your own town so that people, characters from other nations, like Mondstadt, Leeway, Inazuma, Sumeru, Fontaine, and Natlan, and of course Transpire when that comes available, can come and visit and make you stuff. Like, there'll be like generators that can get you Primo Gems and Genesis Crystals. In my opinion, this idea would be phenomenal. Because let's just say it right now, folks. The, sorry about that. The output tier, honestly, to get Genesis Crystals is actually not fair for free-to-play players. Because, come on. Just let us get them a little bit easier. Granted, I'm not free to play. I'm not. But make it easier, they can earn these crystals. Because the only way you get them normally is either by getting Welkins or buying hoodies here. But that's literally it. Once that's gone and done, you're out. That's how simple it is when you think about it. But that's all I'm thinking about. I'm like, having a way to earn them will be better for players that don't want to spend money, you know, and they still have a chance that, like, say, let's just say maybe it takes over a month or more, maybe a month or 2 months, that you have to get enough to get an outfit you wanted for basically free because you want the generators just generate. Which, in my opinion, will be really good for the game. And then, okay, enough about that one. I could talk about that one all day, let's just be honest. And now, this one they have kind of done, but they can do it better, because they only do it apply to certain things. And that is increased drop rate for items from enemies, bosses, artifacts, talent books, and weapon materials. Because, let's just say right now, I have bombed a ton in this game, have drove me insane for years. And that's another thing. In my opinion, when you are bombing in domains, no, what's the one that's, wait, what the heck? Oh, that's new. I'm probably one that's, oh, here we go. I think in these domains, whatever enemies are in there, you should also get their drops. Because why not? But that's all I'm talking about that. I don't want to go into too much detail because I could rant on that for like 20 minutes, I swear. Now, another idea, and this is number 8. Replayable past events. Because, come on, there's some good events in this game that are like big story plots, like aka the ones that are based around Dragon Spine, which actually give a lot of information about Albedo, which is insane. But having that you don't get to, you know, mm, play and witness the story. Yeah, you can. And I know people say, "Oh, but you can go on YouTube." I say, "Yeah, that's true. You can. That is all around true. But you don't get to experience it yourself firsthand when you're playing it with your characters and at your level." And you miss out on the event weapons, and it's like they need to bring it back. I don't care. At least the ones that have story plot. The ones that are like, co-op based, like, this one, for example, this new one here, the arena one. No, that could be like a limited one, okay. But the other ones that have story plot and, you know, shows it off on the lantern rights. Have it that you can play those, because come on, some of the lantern rights are crazy on their own right. And, well, that's all I'll say on that. If I talk more, I'll leave a little bit of mine. Now, this one is a double type because if we go to characters, you can see max turn up is 10. I still think this is dumb because I play Azure Lane, folks, and the intimacy in that, or no, affection, that's the word. Wrong wording, my bad. Is that, it goes from friend to, stranger to friend to crush to something else, I don't know what the other one is, then to lover or wife. I forget which was worded. Which, is really a good thing. I like that feature in Azure Lane. But, let's go and put it over here. I need them to increase friendship. So, you get like a quest to go see them. Now, automatically, it will give you the option to, do the quest or not. That's up to you as a player. But if you do it, you get, the option to date said character. And it doesn't matter if you are the male traveler or female traveler. You would get to, go with who you want. Except for the Turlin. Kid characters are off the tables. Because they are kids, so come on. I gotta take a little off every time I'm around. But in my opinion, this would be a really good one to introduce like the wedding system, the date system, increase friendship, so you have to get the character you want. Like, yes, you can increase the friendship with the kid characters, but, here's a big but, you cannot date them. They can see you as a big brother or a big sister type deal. Which would be a, cool idea. And I'm talking about that one for almost an hour, not even lying. Now, another idea is the Battle Pass. And Hoyo can do it, because they've already done it with Honka Stario and Zenless. Increase the battle limit, or Battle Pass limit, because max level 50, I get it done so fast it's not even funny. Like, you only saw when I maxed my Battle Pass, it was literally, I had like 20 days remaining. It's like, well, come on. And like, they don't want to be good rewards, like, extra Mora, extra, artifact XP, that type of dealio. Because trust me, you can use it a lot. And now, this one has kind of come into the game. Oh, wrong section, whoops. This section. Because I mentioned before that it should increase the resin up to, 200 or 240. What you can see they did increase it to 200. So it's kind of true. But, here's a big but. The timer on it is stupid. it takes over 27 hours to max your resin. I'm like, that is way too long. So in my opinion, put it so it's like, all 200 comes in within 24 hours. So it makes it a little bit easier for players to get stuff done. Well, trust me, I've used 160 for years. Now, this is another one. And it's kind of based towards resin as well. But in my opinion, make weekly bosses resin free. Because if you go here, let's just take Child for example right here. It costs you 60 resin to fight one boss. Granted, I know 10 the first 3 are 30, which, aren't bad, but out of that 60 on up. And let's be honest, there's a ton of weekly bosses in this game. I think it's like, what, 8 or 9 now, I think? Hang on. Trance Domain, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, my bad, 11. 11 weekly bosses in this game. And you're only able to get 3 that's on a discount. And that means the last 8 will be 60 a pop. Granted for me, I don't need to put them all in or Child anymore. Thank by God. Because trust me, that would drive me bonkers. But it still puts in a lot of freaking bosses. I think making them resin free will be great. Cause come on, we got enough resin to use, barely enough to use when we're playing town domains, artifact domains, weapon mat domains, and world bosses. Which in my opinion, come on. I think it'd be really good to make the weekly bosses free. And then, now there's one for me personally. But we see here, I've used me a little marker here underneath was an exploration progress that shows how many treasure chests are remaining in said area. So, for example, Lisa was a X amount, let's just say 49 out of 50. I don't want that, but I'm just giving an example. What do I mean? Would help out so bloody much. Because, like, I know those treasures I'm missing in certain nations, and, like, I'm like, what area? I've explored. I've done crazy shit. Trust me, some of them are dumb. Trust me on that one. Especially Mondstadt. That one was stupid. But if they put something like that, that's enough so I can, like, say, oh, there's at least, 3 treasures in this area that I need to go into. I'm like, okay, I can explore it and find it. Simple as that. And now this one is an interesting one. Because they already have it in Honkai Star Rail, so I can see them putting it over here into Genshin, because, you can do it, so don't lie. And that is an artifact reroll system. Because, like, let's say, for example, one of my artifacts here. Let's see, what was one of the bad ones? Oh, this one, for example. Perfect example. There should be an option, so like when you go say enhance, have a reroll item that can reroll it to, so you get better stats. Because over in Honkai Star Rail, they have something like that over there. Which, trust me, a godsend. Because I don't know. So having a reroll system will be amazing for artifacts. Now another one is I want more crossover characters. I know people say, oh, but they'll just do it like they do with Aloy. No. This is why you do not know. Don't do nothing like Aloy. No. No, this would be quite literally that you would. There'll be an event, so like, don't take Arena for example, to say, you know, for laughs, Final Fantasy 7 X Genshin Impact. Just for fun. It'll be a whole event that you get to play, and you would see how the characters have to get over to Tibet, and say like, Aloy just came to the mail. Like, that's the part that never made sense with Aloy, in my opinion. I'm like, why wasn't an event that we could interrupted her? You know, we could see how she got here. You know, it would have made more sense. Because something, my brain's like, yeah.
Oof.
So hopefully, someone that would be cool. Another one. Increase Primo Gems from Quest and Treasure. What they kind of have done, but they need to do it to, like, you know, the older zones and like that. Because I think it would be amazing. Because I think it would be a good thing for the game. It would help out a lot. Especially when you're trying to get that character, like, you saw how much I had to grind just to get Beretta here. And I just wanted it to be so adorable.
Running late again.
And one hell of a sweetheart. That is some speed. But on to the next one. Increase the fish rewards. You're like, you don't really get much for doing fishing. Like, yes, you do get some weapons. Not gonna lie, you do. But not really anything spectacular. Don't get me wrong, the catch is an amazing weapon. Don't get me wrong. But I think that would be like, you know, give us more primos fishing. Like, yeah, I know people say, oh, but the achievements. Yeah, it's true. But I think out of the cat, like, you know, say you get like a little job saying, you know, go catch me umpteen, I don't know, fontaine fish or something like that. Which in my opinion will be pretty dang good in my opinion. Yeah, like, okay, here we go. Like, say you have to go like 10 of these Medikas. Medikas? I don't know. Say you have to collect 10 and say you give it to them and you get an extra 20 Primo Gems. This is a non-daily thing that's not a daily itself. Because in my opinion, you gotta make more ways to get Primo Gems. Come on, let's just be honest. And now, there's another one that needs to be put in. Like, if they don't adjust the, you know, how many cards for wishes, I think the commissions should in turn give you 160 Primo Gems for completing. Like, say you get 100 of them doing the dailies part, and then when you go see Catherine, you get an extra 60. So that would equal out to 160. Because right now, you only get 60. Period. You're like, come on. It would help out a lot. And now on to the next one is make the game rain free. And like for example, when me and my friend Javel, we thought, oh, we could play together originally when she stopped playing. But because in the UK, it's region lock. I think technically the region lock should be lifted off so that players from all over the world can play together. Because come on. Region lock is a bunch of bullshit. So hopefully they can do that. Now this one I know some people, it might spark some controversy, but hear me out. And that is increase the party members per team. Like right now we see we have 4 characters in a party. Now we've seen when you do certain quests, if you don't have the character, they give you the character as a bonus to use. And you can swap into it. So that means you would have a 5-person team. So what's saying you can't do that? Like, could you imagine the comps? Like, let's just go on party for a second. That's what I mean. Then you'd have 5 units that can make crazy combos. Like, let's take, for example, my Navi team. I would love to put Rain Shogun in here as well. Oh my god, that'd be so freaking dope. Like, there'd be so much potential. Or heck, man, I'm all Kazu. Or, you know, any of these guys, like, have a 5th person on a team. Like, imagine, like, the Hyperbloom teams, the, like the Troska team. Like, for example, Troska, for example. She relies on different elements to help her out. Mostly, Electro, Pyro, Cryo, and Hydro. So 4 elements right there. Imagine having the other 4 elements. So, for example, let's take Sitlali, Mavrika, with Ryan Shogun, and say, for fun, Kokomi. She would get all those bullets. Oh my god, that's so cool! Be an amazing feature, in my opinion. And now, this one's for me personally. I love this idea because I played Sword Online, so, you know. Is have bed scenes. And let athletes let the traveler sleep in their bed. Because, like, let people know I keep up, man. Show you what I mean. Let me just show you. Because you can't even sit on the bed or even sleep on the bed. Which is so dang stupid. Because let's go upstairs. Like, see, look. You come up with the bed, and there's no option to sit on it. Or even sleep on it. Like, I can understand because that thing on it, you can only technically sit on it. But no option. It's like, bro, why? And it's dumb. Oh yeah, like these little things right here, these little mats. You should be able to sit down on them. But no. And so they're applying with a chair here. Oh wait, that one you can apparently. And oh yeah, this one in here. Make it so the characters aren't so stiff. Like, come on, you see them here. Yeah, buddy. And they're just standing there. They don't walk around the area. Like, granted, my dog has been here for the last, I don't know, long time. Hey, Tiny Deer, how you doing? But that, in my opinion, will be a fun little thing with Betsy's, and like, it would only apply to the adult-type characters, not the kids. And now, this is one that I wanted, because let's say, for example, you want to level your character. Make it so it doesn't cost more, because look how much it takes just to level up a character from 81 to 90. Over 600,000. I'm like, brother. You don't just make me farm the XP, but you also gonna make me pay for it too? So come on. This should be things to help out on it. Like, come on. It gets annoying when you're trying to farm and like, you know, you're like, oh, I got enough to get the levels up, but then it's like you go to level the character up and you just realize, oh shit, I have no money. So in my opinion, that needs to be adjusted, if not got rid of, because it's going to cost you more to level up a unit. Because that's like saying you're buying the character's levels. It's like, no you're not. You've got the XP books. You've got the talent book. It's dumb. Now this one is kind of in the game, but only for certain units. Is a mount system. We totally had that with Malrika, Kachina, kind of Shiolin, it was in the kind of comment, Mualani. Oh god, that woman talking, I'm boss backer. But, as I was saying, I'll get interrupted there by that woman. There should be an actual mount system. Like, you can actually bring out a animal. Like, could you imagine running with, like, say, a Andress? That'd be so freaking cool! It would be badass as all hell. I would pay to see that come in. Like, hands down. And now this is another one. So hopefully I do something like that. And that is more expeditions / rewards. Like, rather than when you do your expeditions for the characters, you just get basic resource. In my opinion, you should get more out of it. Cause like, come on, I get annoyed by that, personally. So like, I think you should be able to get Primo Gems. You know? And make it that there's more characters that can do expeditions, because right now they're only limit 5. It's like, we're only in our 6th nation game. Now this
Strength
one
is one of those things where...
Now this one is kind of put in, but they should kind of put it a little further. And that is the auto pass system for floors, for the Spiral Abyss. So in my opinion, you should be able to clear floors 9 to 11 auto as long as you did 36 on the previous Abyss. Well, I know technically we're going to, but it's only for floors 9 and 10. Which, don't get me wrong, it really helps. Trust me, it helps out a lot. And now, for the last idea. Now, this one is a bit... is it biased? No, that's not the word. More or less towards my idea of the harem route, but let's just say if they had the weighing system, thing system, let's just say for fun, you marry the character, and in my opinion, that character plus the traveler should get a boost in power. Like, let's say Ganyu, for example. I think when you marry a character, so for example, we married Ganyu here, should you say 25% boost of attack and like other stats as well to help out, and this would also apply to the Pyro Traveler. Well, the Traveler in general, I mean. I'm Pyro now. My mind went right there. And it would help out, like, also it would even give you, like, maybe, say, 5% crit rate and 10% crit damage. Something like that. And, like, it would help out the characters out so much. It's like, come on. And you get a very, very character with giving them a boost. And also, like, you know, the character does the numbers accordingly. But maybe after you marry one and, like, say you want to marry more, it goes down that little bit. So you have to like pick and choose who you gotta have as your first wife or husband, either way. In my opinion, it'll be a good feature for the game. But I think most I'm gonna end here now because wow, I love talking. Holy shit! But hopefully these ideas do come into the game because they will be really good for the game, in my opinion. It would help out a lot. And that was about 28 ideas, mind you. So, anyways, if you enjoy, hit like, have a comment. Thank you for watching. Hope to see another one of Genshin Impact. I'll see you. Hope to see you then. Laters.